Before we begin, I just want everybody to know how humbled I am about this opportunity. Humility is usually not a word you associate with Jesse Waters, but I'm truly honored. I'm following in the footsteps of two true professionals in this time slot, 8 o'clock, and I'll continue the tradition of excellence. But I come from a different place. Fox was my first job out of college 20 years ago. I started off in the basement, freelance, making minimum wage, slapping labels on tapes. And a few years later, I had my big break. And let's just say I wasn't camera ready. Two people independently verified that they smoke crack on a regular basis. So, we were able to verify that. We found out that they basically don't work. No one has a job at any of the three of them. And they're low lives, and no one in the town wants anything to do with them whatsoever. I've come a long way. We've come a long way. From Waters World weekends to the 5, and then to the 7. Do you know who Jesse Waters is?
No.
I'm Waters.
You Jesse Waters?
Yeah. We finally got our hands on the mountains of evidence that the Pelosi's have spent months trying to cover up. The Constitution says it plain and simple. You can impeach a president for high crimes, treason, and bribery. They don't want to know whose coke it was, but we do, and we'll get to the truth. That I promise.
I'm at ground zero practically right now. I don't feel safe.
We love you guys, and anything you need, let us know. This is garbage.
I don't think I support the Restrict Act.
You co-sponsored it 2 days ago.
Okay,
Senator.
all right. See, makes me look bad.
Dylan wants Waters in prison. Waters wouldn't do well in prison. Your hair gel probably costs more than a gallon of gas.
I'm going to shove my foot so far up your ass it's going to dangle out your nose.
Blackface has given us black lung. Hunter said, Daddy, lock them up. A champion has been crowned in the 2023 primetime nickname bracket. Binder. And why are you dressed up as a raccoon?
Well, isn't it fun?
Oh, God, dude. Every time I see you, it just hurts my brain.
Nobody says the news has to be boring. We're going to represent, inform, and entertain. Like I said before, the relationship I have with you is a love story. I love you. I respect you. And when you text or call me, I listen to you. Everything we do it for you. When a toxic train wrecked in East Palestine, Ohio, we were there. When Paul Pelosi tried to bury his DUI in Napa County, we didn't give up. And now when cocaine shows up in the White House, we're not satisfied with the explanation. Because if it was my cocaine or if it was your cocaine, not that we do cocaine, we'd be in jail. But since it's the White House's cocaine, all they have is a 500-person suspect list that they refuse to narrow down. And the politicians who used to care about White House scandals don't care at all.
Fox, right?
Yes,
I'm mad at Fox.
Okay.
Not you, you're great, but I'm mad at Fox. What's up?
Okay, I wanted to know if you have concerns that there was an illicit substance brought to the White House and no one seems to be able to find out whose it was.
I'm concerned always about illicit substances. No harm, no foul, and we move on.
Why do you think the Secret Service doesn't care that cocaine was found at the Biden White House?
Oh, I hope they care. There's thousands of people who go in and out of the White House. If you all want to be strip searched, for substances before you go into the White House, that's something that, you should work with the Secret Service to see if they can accommodate.
We need to do an investigation. If there's an illegal drug, find who.
They're ending their investigation, though. Is that a problem?
I'm sorry, I'm just not up on the details. I didn't know they were ending the investigation.
No, if you have concerns that there's cocaine found at the White House, it's a risk to our national security.
I mean, it is obviously a problem to have cocaine in the White House. I hope they figure out how that happened.
But the Secret Service has ended their investigation without figuring out whose cocaine it was. Do you think that's a problem?
You should ask the Secret Service.
If there was cocaine in my office or in my house, I'd want to know how it got there. But Joe Biden doesn't want to know. I wonder why.
You said that it was very important to President Biden that the Secret Service get to the bottom of who brought it into the White House. So can you just talk about his reaction when he learned that the investigation did not end with a suspect?
No, and I appreciate the question. Look, I'm just not going to opine on this, not going to get into specific on this. We believe the Secret Service did a thorough investigation.
So is the president satisfied with the explanation that someone was able to bring an illegal substance into the White House because there are hundreds of people who come here?
What I will say is that the Secret Service did a thorough investigation.
So the president's satisfied that no one has any idea why narcotics are lying around his White House? In his first year in office, Joe Biden fired 5 staffers for cannabis. And now he's looking the other way at cocaine? That doesn't make sense, does it? If this was anthrax, would he be satisfied that his Secret Service couldn't figure out how anthrax got into the White House? And what does the White House consider a thorough investigation? One that doesn't interview a single suspect? The feds interviewed hundreds of people during the Russia investigation, a 2-year investigation into a crime that never happened. FBI agents staked out parking lots during school board meetings. Here we know there's a crime, but this is over in 10 days with no interviews. If the government wants answers, it's going to get an answer, as long as it's the answer they want. And does anybody believe they didn't find a single fingerprint, not a trace of DNA? They just pulled forensics off a 3-year-old pizza crust to nab a serial killer. Are you saying the White House coke guy took more precautions than a serial killer? He wore latex gloves into the White House? Come on. The Secret Service knows everything.
You know, I've gotten to know the Secret Service really well, okay? And I can't speak more highly of people. These are incredible people. And I believe that they know everything. They're really smart and really good at what they do.
And former Secret Service agent Dan Bongino says the agents are furious. And of course they know whose coke it was. The Secret Service director, who's covering up the coke scandal, has a history with Joe Biden. She was on Vice President Biden's security detail when he used to go skinny dipping in front of agents. And when Vice President Biden's last security detail head retired, Biden put him on his payroll. Not only did the Secret Service clean up Hunter's missing gun and crack pipe in the rental car, the Bidens were returning favors, getting Secret Service agents' kids into the Naval Academy, paying their health care premiums and comping their rents. And it just helps when the media covers the Biden White House cocaine scandal like it's a Republican scandal.
They are weaponizing Hunter Biden against his dad as an effective tool to get his dad to lose his cool and to get his dad to, feel the heartache. They're going to weaponize Hunter Biden. It has nothing to do with Hunter Biden, but you can hear that said 100 times. And people who want to believe it are still going to believe that. Well, okay. And there's people who might believe that it was planted for somebody so that then they could advance the Hunter Biden narrative.
This is what happens when Democrats run out of their usual excuses, Russia or racism. They blame you, the tourist, probably some deplorable junkie. And tourists bring cocaine into the White House all the time, right? They get past security screenings, canines, and pat-downs, and once they make it through one layer, they absolutely have the wherewithal to find a cubby, dump the bag, and steal the key. We've told you before, this was either a White House staffer or a close family member. And our sources tell us Hunter's living at the White House. We hope Hunter's not involved with the coke, but it's common sense that the cubby would be used as a drop because Hunter couldn't leave the residence and score with his old dealer, bicycles. It's a theory, and again, we hope we're wrong. But we're not buying that this was an actual investigation, this was a cover-up. The feds rummaged through Melania's underwear drawer. You don't think they can make a staffer take a polygraph? If this was the Trump White House, they'd make him pee in a cup. And here's what the American people are angry about. We're getting investigated for nothing while they sweep evidence under the rug. We're getting locked up for crimes they committed. Their cameras keep going down, and they say, trust us. Their investigations always happen to clear them. And if we point any of this out, we're weaponizing. We're not going to let them bury the security footage, like the transgender shooter manifesto or the UFO documents or the JFK files. Primetime's on it until we catch them in the lie.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.